Hi, I'm Daniel Muldoon with Muldoon Associates, and now I'm going to talk to you about a few things related to rent-to-own properties. I get a lot of homeowners and even a lot of tenants or prospective tenants who are looking for rent-to-own situations, lease options. There's various different things out there that people use to attempt to get tenants to buy the property at some point during that lease, whether it's at the end of the lease or a portion of the rent proceeds go towards the purchase of the home, or however that arrangement is designed. And I just want to put some things out there to keep in mind as you're doing these, because a lot of homeowners go out and do a rent-to-own situation without knowing the unintended consequences. One of those being a rent-to-own can look more like a mortgage than it can like a lease. And if a person has a mortgage on a property, in order for the landlord to remove them, they would have to go through the foreclosure process, not the eviction process. The foreclosure process is a far longer and more expensive process than the eviction process. So you need to be aware of those types of things, because it could potentially cost you $20,000 in legal fees to foreclose on the property, as opposed to where you had just leased to them and it cost you $500 to get them out of the property. So, if your goal is to get them to buy the house, that's not an issue. They can still rent the property and you can still give them an option to buy at the end of the lease, but just be aware of how you're building in these relationships, because it can get a lot more expensive than you think. One other thing to keep in mind is a lot of time rent-to-own situations are designed to attract underqualified people who can't get conventional type of financing. So be aware, because the reason why they can't get conventional type of financing could be a red flag. Maybe they have low FICO scores, which is a reflection of their ability to repay debt. Maybe they don't have verifiable income, which means if they default on your agreement, you may not be able to collect on that money. There's all kinds of different things that can come into play, but make sure you're not looking at the small short end of let's get somebody in there and make money now. Look at the grand scheme of things and make sure that you're doing what's best in the long run, because a lot of hasty decisions made today can cost a lot of money in the future. And I've seen these examples, and it's just it's frustrating to me, because they could have been handled differently and not cost that landlord as much money or as much time as it ended up doing. So make sure it's drafted by attorney. Make sure that you have legal representation when you're going into these types of agreements. Don't just attempt to do it on your own. There's a lot of laws regarding how these agreements should work, and just protect you as a landlord. So I hope you found this information helpful on your rent-to-own properties. You can always reach me at my office. And again, I'm Daniel Muldoon with Muldoon Associates.